The question that should never have been asked on Mother's Day. What should have been a peaceful family celebration turned into the day that detonated the truth my wife had been hiding for 19 years. The house smelled like roasted turkey, the smell that always made my wife, Gloria, smile. But today, something about her smile was stiff, polished, mechanical. She had spent the entire morning obsessing over the dining table, rearranging the plates, the flowers, the candles, like trying to fix something broken that no one could see. I thought it was nerves. It wasn't. My son Ethan had flown in from California. Millionaire tech founder at 26. I was proud of him. Beyond proud. He was everything I had dreamed he would become. Focused, brilliant, and kind. He hugged me first when he walked in. Then he hugged his mother. Except, she looked uncomfortable. Like being touched burned her. I found that strange. But nothing prepared me for what happened after lunch, when Ethan casually leaned back in his chair, wiped his hands, and said the sentence that snapped open the gates of hell. Dad, do you like the $8,000 gift Mom gave you? Forks froze midway. My heart stopped. Gloria's face turned the color of ash. 8,000. I repeated. Ethan nodded. Yeah, the luxury watch. She said you've always wanted one. Didn't you get it? Gloria's lips trembled. Because she knew something I didn't know. There was no watch. No $8,000 gift. There was only a lie, her lie. And that question became the moment my entire marriage began to unravel. Ethan continued, still clueless. She wired the money 3 weeks ago. Said it was your early gift. That's why I didn't bring anything physical today. 3 weeks ago. Exactly during the days she'd been on a church retreat. I stared at my wife. Gloria, I said quietly. Where's the $8,000? Her eyes filled with panic, her hands shaking so violently the spoon slipped from her fingers and clattered on the floor. I can explain, she whispered. But she couldn't. Not yet. Not the truth. Not the truth she'd been hiding for 19 long years. Gloria pretended she had a headache and escaped to our bedroom. Ethan looked at me confused. Dad, did I say something wrong? I forced a smile. No, son. You didn't. But deep inside, something dark began to rise. Suspicion. Betrayal. Patterns that suddenly made sense. The late-night phone calls. The office overtime. The sudden need for privacy. The withdrawal of affection. And the missing funds, small before but lately, bigger. When Ethan left that evening, he hugged us goodbye, oblivious to the war he had accidentally started. I waited until he had driven off. Then I walked upstairs. Gloria was sitting on the edge of the bed, shoulders trembling. Where is the money? I asked. She didn't look up. It's gone. You spent it? She shook her head. No. I gave it away. To who? She swallowed hard. And then she whispered the name that made my blood freeze. Raymond. Raymond. My younger brother. The same brother who ruined everything he touched. Investments, friendships, family goodwill. The same brother who had borrowed money from us countless times and disappeared without paying back a single dollar. She gave him $8,000? I clenched my fist. Why? Her answer tore something inside me. Because he needed it, she said. He said he was sick and you believed him? Yes. You chose him over your own husband? No. You lied to your son to cover it up. She burst into tears. I know. I made a mistake. But something felt off. Far off. The panic in her eyes wasn't just guilt. It was deeper, older. Like this wasn't the first time she had lied about money. How long, Gloria? I asked. How long have you been giving him money? Her silence gave me the answer. A long time. Too long. Cracks in a marriage I thought was solid. For the next 3 days she avoided me. Which was fine because I spent those days investigating. I went through our bank statements, the ones she usually handled. I traced old transfers. Old withdrawals. Old lies. $600 here. $1,200 there. $3,000 last year. $900 last month. Small amounts at first, then escalating. Over $37,000 sent to Raymond in the last 5 years. My hands shook as I held the printed statements. Why would she funnel money to a man who brought nothing but destruction? Why hide it? Why risk everything? The answer came from my mother, a quiet woman who had seen too many storms. When I visited her, she sighed heavily and said, There are things you don't know, son. Things from before you married her. That sentence alone sent chills through me. What things? She hesitated. Then she dropped the revelation that rearranged my entire reality. Gloria and Raymond, they used to date. My throat closed. The world spun. And when you proposed to her, she continued, Raymond was furious. He said you stole her. The family fought, he made threats, it was a mess. My heart hammered. That can't be true. It is, she whispered. I thought she told you. She didn't. She never did. I stumbled out of my mother's house, shaking. Everything made sense now. The money. The secrecy. The loyalty she had no right to feel. The guilt. And the way she froze when she heard his name. Raymond was her past. A past she hid from me. A past she never let go of. I confronted Raymond. He lived in a shabby apartment, the smell of damp walls and old betrayal. He grinned when he saw me. To what do I owe the honor? He smirked. You took $8,000 from my wife, I said. He leaned back casually. And you lied about being sick. He shrugged. Had to get money somehow. My fist trembled. You've been taking money from her for years. Why? He smiled, a slow, poisonous smile. Because she owes me. My chest tightened. Owes you for what? For everything she did to me, he said with a low voice. For leaving me. For choosing you over me. For ruining my life. She didn't ruin your life. You ruined. She rejected me, he snapped. And you took her. You were nothing. And she chose you. His bitterness was decades old. But don't worry, he added with a chilling grin. She's been paying. Little by little. Just like she should. And then he said the sentence that made my blood boil. And she still cares about me. More than she'll ever admit. I punched him. I didn't plan to. I didn't think. My first moved on its own, fueled by 19 years of lies. He staggered then laughed. You think you can break us? He snarled. You think you can stop this? The word hit me like a knife. I left before I killed him. The truth Gloria never wanted me to know. When I got home, I found Gloria sitting on the floor of our bedroom, clutching a photograph. It was old. And it was of her and Raymond, arms around each other, smiling. Why didn't you tell me? I asked, voice raw. She cried softly. I wanted to forget him. Forget everything. I thought if I buried it, it would go away. But it didn't. So you paid him to keep the peace? No, she whispered. I paid him because he threatened to ruin you. Me? She nodded. He said he would expose things about your family, your past, even things that weren't true. He blackmailed me for years. And I was scared. Why didn't you come to me? Because I thought if you knew the truth about my past with him, you'd leave me. I closed my eyes. Her voice broke. I was wrong. I should have told you. I should have trusted you. I ruined everything. I stared at her. The woman I loved. The woman who lied. The woman who was terrified of losing me even while she hid everything. I took a deep breath. Gloria, this ends? Today. She nodded weakly. But neither of us knew that the end wasn't the end. It was the beginning of the revenge that would change everything. I recorded our next call with Raymond. Raymond, I said, voice steady, I'll give you $50,000. But only if you meet me tomorrow at noon. He was greedy, predictable, arrogant. He took the bait instantly. Send location. I chose a public place, a busy cafe with cameras everywhere. When he arrived, I set my phone to record and slid an envelope across the table. There's $200 inside, I said calmly. A down payment. The rest comes after you sign a contract. What contract? That you will never contact my wife again. That you will never ask her for money again. And that you acknowledge you blackmailed her. His laugh was short and sharp. You think I'll sign that? You will, I said. Because if you don't, this recording goes straight to the police. He froze. And to Ethan, I added. The mention of my son made him twitch. He grabbed the contract with shaking hands. But as he read, his face twisted in fury. You think you won? He hissed. I leaned forward. I think you're done. He signed. He left. And I exhaled for what felt like the first time in days. But the fight wasn't over. Not yet. When I returned home, Gloria was sitting at the table. She looked tired. Drawn. Like a person who had carried a secret so heavy her bones cracked under it. I placed the signed document in front of her. She broke down in tears. I'm so sorry, she whispered. I thought hiding my past would protect you. No, I said gently. Secrets don't protect. They destroy. For hours we talked. For the first time in years we talked honestly. I learned about her fears. Her mistakes. Her regrets. Her guilt. And she learned something too. That hiding the truth was worse than the truth itself. That night she made a decision that shocked me. I want to go to therapy, she said. I want us to go. I want to fix this. I want to earn back the trust one broke. And for the first time, I believed her. We didn't plan to tell Ethan, but he noticed the tension. He noticed the careful words. And he noticed the emotional distance. Finally he asked, Dad, Mom, did I cause something? We told him everything. Not all the painful details, but enough for him to understand. He listened. He didn't interrupt. And when we finished, he said something I didn't expect. Mom, I forgive you. Gloria broke down again. Ethan hugged her tightly. Then he looked at me. You did the right thing, Dad. You protected her. And us. For the first time since that cursed Mother's Day question, our family felt united again. Raymond's final fall. 2 months later, Raymond was arrested. Fraud. Identity theft. Blackmail. Extortion. Not because of Gloria. Not because of me. But because he had scammed dozens of women, single mothers, widows, elderly women, using the same manipulation he used on her. The police asked us to testify. Gloria hesitated. But I held her hand and whispered, You're free. Let him face what he deserves. She nodded. The courtroom was silent as she spoke. Her voice shook, but she didn't break. Raymond glared at us both, hatred burning in his eyes. But this time, he had no power. The judge gave him 9 years. And that was the day Gloria walked out of the courtroom finally free of a past that had haunted her for 2 decades. A new Mother's Day. 1 year later. Mother's Day arrived again. The air smelled of roasted turkey. But this time, Gloria's smile wasn't forced. Ethan was there too, more successful, more grounded, more loving than ever. He handed me a box. I opened it. Inside was a watch. The same luxury brand. The same model. The same price. I owed you a real gift, Dad, he said, smiling. This time, no lies. Gloria looked at me, eyes filled with gratitude and remorse. Thank you, she whispered, for not giving up on me. I pulled her close. We don't erase the past, I said softly. We grow from it. As the sun set behind our home, I realized something. That single question Ethan asked had almost destroyed us. But in the end, it saved us. And the revenge? It wasn't against Gloria. It was against the poison that had been feeding on our family for years. A poison named Raymond. We didn't just remove him. We rebuilt everything he tried to break, together.